Hello everyone, welcome back to M for Montessori. Firstly, I'd like to apologize that I took so long to upload another video. I genuinely was extremely busy with my classes and shifting on an online mode of education for a few months now. And now that things are running smoothly and we have picked up nuances and nitty-gritties of how to go online and touch the lives of people, especially little people, I am back with my vlogs. This pandemic and the lockdown also gave me an opportunity to rethink the content of M for Montessori, and I genuinely feel that I am extremely sure that I want to help and reach out to all the parents out there of amazing children who want to do their bit. So I will be focusing on a lot of topics which will be extremely close to my heart, and we will start from there. Today, the topic that I want to work on is something that is extremely close to my heart. Yes, I have said that, and I'm saying that again because me being a very headstrong and curious child who always believed in questioning something I didn't understand, I learned and I grew, and I also learned in that process that I have to question no matter what. My daughter is the same, and that's why I'm saying it's very personal to me. I hear people say that having a child who argues or put their points forward or is curious is not so good. I'll beg to differ. Hear me out. So a child who puts his or her points forward, or a child who questions, or a child who expresses his points of view, his or her points of view, isn't coming from a point where he or she wants to put you down or show you down. That's not how children function. They genuinely want to know. They genuinely want to put their points across. They genuinely want to get involved in a process of learning and understanding and expressing themselves. A child who has the capability and the child who has the confidence and the opportunity to put points forward and to ask questions will be adults who reason and reason well and reason thoughtfully. They will be adults, will grow up in adults who have clarity of thought and clarity of process. They will be goal oriented, they will plan better, they'll be more focused. All these points which you need for successful development of a child into an adult will be developed if their opportunity to question or put their point across, or to argue as we call it, isn't crumbled or isn't crushed. So that is why I always say, whether you have a curious child or a child who argues or puts the point forward, you should take it as a blessing. As a child, I always heard, don't question, or don't argue, or don't talk back, or don't give your opinions. And I literally fought back and fought with the system. I became quiet for many years, and then I started questioning back, that why can't I question? Why can't I argue? Because I just have a point to say. Why can't I say it? And that happened with many of us who have grown up a few decades back. They have faced this, that you were never given an opportunity in a regular household to put across your voice, or to question, or to argue. Right? Argument doesn't necessarily mean that children are disrespectful or misbehaved. No. Argument doesn't mean that. Argument means your child is confident enough to express his or her views, and he or she feels secure enough to express his or her views. And if your child argues or asks question, you should feel extremely positive about the way you're parenting your child. Argument also gives us an opportunity to look into what or how your child is feeling, what's going on in their tiny minds, what's going on in their head. At times we as parents just take it as for granted that we know what is going on in their little heads. But do we really know that? I have my doubts. So we get a sneak peek into your child's mind, which is a beautiful place if you let them give them an opportunity, or if you let them put their points across or ask questions, right? So that is why it's very important to let your child express himself or herself, whether it is through questions, whether it is through putting their points across, or whether it is through expressing something which might not be acceptable to many members who are sitting there. Of course, arguments can get really heated, and I will in a bit tell you about how to set some ground rules around arguments that should be followed by every member involved in that discussion, not only the child. But before that, I have this pocket dictionary with me, and I will read out the meaning of argue and argument to you, and then you decide how does disrespect come in picture. Argue, give reasons or an opinion. Give reasons for an opinion, Argument, a set of reasons given in support of an opinion. I see some beautiful words here. Reasons, opinion. These are very beautiful words. I don't see disrespect mentioned anywhere. So why do we always connect argument to disrespect? I really want to know your opinion about it, and be sure I'll not call that as an argument. So let's talk about ground rules. It's very important that we set certain ground rules which are applicable, and I'm saying it again, to each member involved in that discussion, or as you would like to call it, that argument. First, basic thing, it's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay to express that difference of opinion. Second, me as a mother, you as a father, the child, the grandparents, the uncles, aunts, cousins, everyone can be involved in that argument or discussion on one basic condition: you have to be respectful. You shouldn't cross that line and be disrespectful just to put that point across. Even if we tell this to the child 100 times, they might not listen. So how do we ensure that the arguments are always respectful? You show them. Do it yourself. As simple as that. When you hear your child saying something that you think is completely ridiculous, and there might be many chances where you will think something which is completely ridiculous coming out from what your child is saying, take a second, deep breath, and then respond to it. Never react, because reaction is more instant. It happens in a jiffy, and you don't get time to control yourself. When you respond, it's a controlled response, or a controlled behavior that you showcase to your child, which is a beautiful thing to showcase them. So perfect example, I completely understand what you're going through, but I have this opinion. I have said my opinion completely, but I have not disrespected my child or my child's opinion. Third thing is that everyone gets a chance to speak. Now this happens very often with elementary children, or children who are around 8, 9, 10, 11, where when they argue, one of them is not ready to listen or not ready to give anyone else chance to speak. And it happens with adults also. I'm so sorry to say that, but it does happen. So what you can do is, if you are there as a parent observing a set of friends or a set of individuals arguing, and you are the responsible person who has to act like a moderator, you can respectfully tell them that everyone needs to get a chance to speak. A classic thing happened with me where my daughter, during this pandemic, was having a chat with her friends about some homework. And this one particular friend of hers, didn't allow anyone to speak, and she constantly kept speaking. So it happened once, twice, thrice, and I saw my daughter get agitated and irritated, but she tried to stop herself from reacting. So I discussed this with my daughter, and she said she didn't like that a bit, because all the other people have opinions, and all the other friends she's spoken to don't appreciate that either. So I asked her, what can we do about it? And the next call, she very calmly, when everyone was about to exit, she said, "Hi, I want to say something, and I think the calls are going very nicely, but only if we get a little chance to speak up, all of us can express, that will be amazing." And then all the other children in the group said that, yes, we think that's correct. And then all 7, 8 of them did kind of start listening to each other and giving their opinion. When you listen, it's very important to listen with an open mind. So if I'm listening with a closed mind, I'll be like, okay, whatever. Don't do that. Listen with an open mind. Try to understand their perspective. It's not necessary that you'll have to agree to what the other person is saying, but you can definitely listen to what they are saying. At the end, if you are still hanging on to your opinion and the other person is still hanging on to theirs, it's okay to agree to disagree, and try and showcase that to your child so that they listen to that and they understand that perspective, right? It's a beautiful thing to have a child who is confident and capable enough to show his curiosity, his or her curiosity, to ask 1,000 questions, to put their point forward. So don't crush that. Thank you so much, and I will be back hopefully in 7 to 10 days, and I'll try to be as consistent as possible. Thank you so much. Have a great, safe days ahead, and love, peace, and health. Bye-bye. I'm signing off today. Bye-bye. Do subscribe and do like and do share if you liked what you heard. And if you have a difference of opinion, please leave that in the comment section below. I would not have a problem, and I'll not consider that argument rude. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.